Alright, let's continue from where we left off. So we mirrored this half of the object on the other side with the mirror modifier, and we spoke a little bit about modifiers in the previous video. Let's get on with getting the shape right in this part of the tutorial series. So we're going to sharpen up this side of the object and make it look more like that, and the way to do that is to add in extra edge loops to your object to support up this rounding off over here, because right now what Blender is doing right now is it's taking, let me just hide this real quick. So hide. What Blender is doing right now, get into the right or left view. What Blender is doing right now is it's taking the vertices over here, and these vertices, including this one right here, and it is averaging them out with the subdivision surface. So we wanna reduce this this averaging out as much as we can to closely achieve this edge we have right here in the picture. So we can do that by adding in multiple hold on guys, I forgot to activate screencast key, so just give me a few seconds to do that right away, and then we will continue. Alright, as I was saying, we're gonna add in edge loops to support these edges over here in order to sharpen it up. So press Ctrl R on your keyboard to add in an edge loop. Drag it up here close to this one. Press E on your keyboard to align it to the top one. If you press E for the first time and it doesn't align to the top, press F to align it to the top. In some cases, let me repeat that again. In some cases, when you add in your loop cut, alright, we want to align the loop cut with the top edge here. Because if you were to move this up, you can notice it's not perfectly aligned with it here. So you want to align it to be each of these vertices with its counterparts up here to be at the same distance from each other. So the distance between this and this would be the same distance between this and this. Same applies to this, and like that. So in order to achieve that, you want to align it in the same exact distance for each of the vertex. And how you do that is, when you're in slide mode, again pressing G twice, you press E, and then you notice this sort of blue dot up here, signifying it is aligning with the top edge. If you want to press F again, it is going to, the blue dot moves down here, which means it is aligning with the bottom. Alright, and you can see that it is obvious when you move it up here. Alright, so it attaches itself to this one before actually losing space. So it is aligning to the bottom here with that key pressed. So press G twice, E, and then F. Align it to the top, and then slide it up to a point like that. Alright, so we've added one up here. Now we're going to add another one in here to better define it. So press Ctrl and R again, left click, drag, press E, and then F to align to the right side, drag it close, and then release. Alright, we're going to do the same thing to the bottom side. So Ctrl R, E, and then F. Align it right there, the same distance as the top one. Same here, E, and then drag it right there. So we got the shape out. But then this side is also averaging out, so we're going to add in another loop cut here to reduce the averaging. So press Ctrl and R, put it in the middle, left click, drag, press E to align with the right side, drag it there, and left click to place it. Do the same thing with the bottom side. Control R, E, drag it here and then place. I'm gonna add one more also at the bottom, because as you can see, it is averaging out way too far down. So press Control and R, E, and then F, same distance away, and drop it. Do the same thing to the top, same distance away, and then drop it. So now we've defined the edges much better. So now we wanna also, I made a mistake, I mean not a mistake, but I forgot to bevel this edge here as much as these sides have been beveled. So we're going to do that now, because we may have forgotten to do it while we were doing these ones. So let's do it separately right now. Let's bevel this to match the edges we have here, because as you can see in the reference photo, even though we can see the back, it looks as though that's what it is. So press Control B, Control plus B on your keyboard, and bevel it about the same amount as the other one. We're eyeballing it right now because we didn't catch the value in our head. I think it was 0.6, I'm not sure. No, hold on. Control and B. Alright, we're just going to eyeball it. So Control and B. I'm going to try to eyeball it looking down here. Control and B. I think that's about it. So we're going to keep it there and left click to keep it in. So again, we're going to stop the averaging here by adding in a loop cut. So Control and R. Press Control and R, add in a loop cut, bring it as close as you can to the side. Do the same thing to this side. Control and R, E, to align it here, and left click. Alright, now that we have this, we're going to feather bevel it. We're going to feather bevel each of these edges here, each of these edges as it is in the image, for a much sharper bevel. So we're going to select each of the ends of the initial bevel that we made. So select all of those edges right now of the initial bevel we made, like that, these, and then that. We're going to feather bevel them for a much sharper bevel. So press Control and B now, drag slowly out, and then scroll on your mouse, move your scroll button up, scroll up once to add in an extra edge loop to the beveling. So scroll up once, and as you can see, one more edge loop has been added between the initial two that we had before. And when you're satisfied with the bevel, left click to apply it. So now you can see we have much sharper bevels at the end here. That is what we're looking to achieve. So now taking a look at the surface, you can see we have these boxy faces here. Right? We want to smoothen this out and make it look more smooth and more of a smooth surface. So how do we do that? You press T on your keyboard to bring your toolbar, the one we got rid of in the beginning of the series. Press T to bring it back now, and then in the tool selection, in the tools panel here selected, the tools here selected, go down to shading with your object selected. Make sure your object is selected. Go down to shading and click on smooth, and that smoothing is the whole surface out for you, like that. So now that we have this made here, we're going to add in an edge loop right here. We're going to go to the front view, or the back view, I presume, the back view, or whatever view your coffee machine is facing. Just get into that view. Mine is the back view. Press Control and R, and then let's add in an edge loop and align it with this side. Get it as close as we can. Alright, we're going to make this cutout over here. That is what this line is representing, that cutout we're making here. Alright, so bring it as close as you think. This is as far from the cutout, and bring it there. Left click to apply it. Now I think the cutout starts from here. Ignore this cutout here for now. The cutout starts from here, goes here, goes up here, and then right underneath that area which we can see, I think it wraps around and then goes to the back here, and then goes back and then comes down and into this side, just like this other side. So we've already added in one here, so we don't need to add in another one. That is what we're going to use to cut out the hole. So what we're going to do now is to select all the vertices in the middle here and delete them in order to achieve what we're looking for. So go back to vertex select mode, select the vertices we're going to delete, that is these vertices all the way to the bottom here. So we're going to select all of them at once. We can't select them like this because then it selects all the ones at the back as well. Alright, so the quickest way to select them at this stage is to first of all select the first vertices by right clicking and then moving your mouse to the last on the line of vertices you want to select. Move your mouse on it, hold control and then right click, and it selects that whole line for you. Once you've done that, press X on your keyboard and delete the vertices. So now we have that cutout made, but again, subdivision surface is averaging out this side, so we have to make sure it stops. We reduce the averaging as much as possible. So add in your loop, another loop cut. To do that, press F to align it with the left side. Do the same thing with this side, Control and R, E, and then F. Always watch for that blue thing to make sure you're aligning to the right side or the appropriate side. And then drag it to that side and place it. Now we have it much sharper like that. And everything else is looking good right now. Very nice. It is looking amazing. So now we're going to add in, or we're going to try to make this cut out here. So here's what we're going to do. Let's move this in a little bit more like that. And let's bring this down a little bit more like that. Now down here it is a little bit more rounder than this sharp corner that we have here. We want to make sure we are able to get that right now. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to select the vertices here in the middle here. And one thing I want to tell you guys, in case you're moving your camera around and you're moving around in the workspace and it's a little bit weird, it's like it's not focusing on the right pivoting camera view, like you're trying to move around in a workspace but it's sort of weird. All you can do to focus on the point you want to move around, just select any vertices or any objects or any edge and then press the period on your numpad. Press the period on your numpad to focus your camera there, like this. Alright, so when you press that and now you move around, it's going to move around that selected vertices. But be warned though, when you deselect it, it's still going to move around there. So when you move to another point of view, it's not really going to, say you want to move around this vertex now, it's not going to do that. It's going to be weird until you press the period key again and it focuses on it, and then you can move around it perfectly like that. So you can try it. So as I was saying, we want to round this off. We want to round it off and make it more round as it looks over here. But first, let's make this cutout, the line for this cutout here. So let's add in a new edge loop to do that. So we're going to press Ctrl and R. This time we're going to align it with the right side because it's very straight, and the cutout we need here is also very straight. Okay, so press E to align it to the right side and then move it to where you think the cutout is. So I think that is about here. press Ctrl and B to bevel like this, just a little bit like that. Press X and delete the faces. So that creates that cutout for us here. We're going to have to support the edge loops in order to reduce the rounding off. So let's do that right now. So press Ctrl and R, align it with the right side. They're both straight, so it won't have any effect. So align it there like this, bring it closer this time like this, and then add one more in the middle like that. Now let's round this off now. So we're going to select this again at the technique, select the first one, hold Control, and then move to the last in line and select it like that. And now we're going to press G twice. We're going to slide this around and then round it off, alright, like this to look like this one. So press G twice and move it to the left side. Hold Control and move it to the left side. 1, 2, sorry, let's try that again. G twice. Hold Control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 6. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's negative 0.5. Left click and then press G twice again. Move that up. This time negative 0.3. And then left click. Like that. And now you have that round area. But then again, it's stretching way too high because we only have one edge here supporting the whole thing. And now it is not straight up and down, because initially when we had it here it was straight up and down with this, so the averaging out wasn't affecting this one as much. But now that it has moved out of place and it's not straight up and down with this vertex here, each of these vertex here, the averaging has now affected it and moved up. So you can see that the face is sticking out of the original face that it is supposed to be. So in order to prevent that, we're going to add another supporting edge loop to kind of reduce the flow of the averaging. So let's press Ctrl and R now. Here, left click, press E, and then align it with the bottom, same distance away. And now you can see what happened. This is before and after we added in the edge loop. Reduces the averaging, and we have that round curvature achieved. We're going to do the same thing up here. Try to get that round curvature. So again, select the first vertex, move here, hold Control, select that one, press G twice, hold Control, move it 0.6, G twice, this time you move it 0.3 or 0.4, right, like that. And again, it is flowing out, so let's add one on each side of this, the same distance away. So Control R, press E, move it here, also at the bottom, press E, move it here. And now you can see we have that beautiful rounded off edges like that. So let's get the bottoms here sharp, because as you can see right here there's a little bit of averaging here. So let's add in more edge loops to more sharpen it. So Control and R here, move it down and add one in the middle like that. We're going to do the same thing here. E, move it here, add one in the middle like that. The same thing here. E, F, F, like that. Add one in the middle. The same thing here. E, F, like that. Add one in the middle. Same thing here. Add one in the middle, like that. Alright, here's one thing we are going to do is, as we added in this edge loop, you can see it moves all the way up here. We do not want that. We want this these multiple vertices we are adding in to actually wrap around and come to this area instead of going up here. we want it to come down here. Alright, I'm going to explain that. Just follow along and you'll know what I mean. So let's add in some more here. Press Ctrl and R here, drag it down like that, add in another one like that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want to select this, this, and then this. Press Alt and M again, Alt and M for merge. Alright, Alt and M to merge. Alright, and watch how I selected the vertices. Okay, I want to merge these two. I want to merge these two to this one here. So I'm going to select those two first, and I'm going to select this one last. Alright, and I'm going to press Alt M for merge, and I'm going to say merge at last. Alright, again, select the ones you want to merge first, and then the ones you want to merge them to last. Alright, then press Alt M and merge it at the last like this. You see that? Yeah. Now we're going to do that again. This time we're going to select these four first, and then we're going to select this one last, and I'm going to press Alt M and then merge it at the last like that. So this is what I was hoping to achieve, like this. So now we're going to get rid of these excess edge loops here, this and then that, because we don't want triangles in here, we want squares. So we're going to get rid of those right now. So let's select this one first. Make sure you don't select the center or the merging point there, and then enable this tool right here which says automatically merge vertices move to the same location. Alright, so we're going to slide this to this edge over here, and once it attaches itself, or once you slide it and then it touches down one, what it's going to do is it is automatically going to merge each vertices to its counterpart like that. So press G twice and then slide it all the way to that one, left click. Again, let's enable the auto merge first. Press G twice, press G twice, slide it all the way up, and then left click, and you can see instantly it merges to it. Alright, so it becomes one line now. So we're going to do the same thing with this. Press G twice, slide it up to touch it, and then left click to merge it. We're going to do the same thing here. Press G twice, slide it up to merge it. The same thing here. G twice, slide it up to merge it. And once you're done, always remember to put off your merge tool again, because it can really make your work messy sometimes. So now that we have this, as you can see, this is what I was looking to achieve, to wrap around like that. I didn't want it going all the way up, right? So to wrap around like that. So we've achieved that now. Alright, what's next? Let's give this some thickness now. Both of these, this piece and this piece, we're going to give them thickness now to make them look a little more realistic. So let's do that now. We're going to do that with a modifier called the solidify modifier. The solidify modifier allows you to add thickness to your mesh, because right now what we have is a sharp plane, sort of not plane, but a sharp surface like this. Okay, we want to add thickness to make it more thick. Right now what you're seeing isn't is more of just something to place materials on. Okay, just the surface. It's not really sort of it's not having any thickness right now. Okay, so it's even sharper than a blade right now. It's way sharper than a blade right now. So you want to add thickness to make it look more realistic. Alright, like in the object we have here. So click on add modifier and look for solidify here. Add in the solidify, and you can see what I mean instantly here. You can see what I mean. So we add in that solidify, and we want to make it more thick. We want to make it more thick than what it is right now. So let's go down here and let's increase the thickness. Alright, so I'm going to go with a thickness of 0.015 like this. So I'm going to go with a thickness of 0.015 like that. I think that is good enough. So it applies the thickness all the way to that side. like that. And if you're applying thickness and you don't have supporting edge loops like we have here right now, it might look a little weird. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to dissolve these edges right now, and now you can see what is happening. The shading is flowing over the surface here, so you can't really tell where the edge is. Alright, so solidify modifier requires you to add in more edge loops at the edges in order to sharpen it up and stop the flow of the shading. So you add it in now, and you can see the difference now, right now. So the solidify applied to all of our objects now. Again, let's add it in up here as well, because you can see the shading is flowing. So let's add in more edge loop up here to contain the shading, like that and like that. So the shading has now being contained, like that. So for now, we're going to end here and continue in the next video. I wasn't looking at my time, but it has recorded 26 minutes already, and I was hoping my limits would be 20 minutes, not beyond 26 minutes, but I wasn't looking at my time, so I recorded beyond 26 minutes. And yeah, I'll stop here and we'll continue in the next video.